Are you ready to become a leader and make a real difference in your community? Introducing Leadership in Action, a mentorship guide for young changemakers by NESSACTION, under the visionary leadership of Ambassador Eniola Cole. As part of the NESSACTION Mentorship Program, this comprehensive guide empowers young leaders with essential skills in leadership, advocacy, and civic engagement. With practical insights and real-life examples, you'll discover how to navigate the complexities of leadership, build effective networks, and drive positive change. Leadership in Action is your roadmap to becoming an ethical, impactful leader. Join the movement. Be the change. Lead with action. Also tune into the Leadership in Action podcast series all day every day on YouTube at Unlimited TV 247 and gain remarkable insights from our formidable team of experienced mentors. Like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Leadership in Action, a mentorship guide for young change makers, because the future belongs to those who lead. Available now on www.nessaction.org. Click the link to get it now and be on your way to the top. See you at the top.
Welcome to Leadership in Action, the podcast that empowers young leaders. I'm your host, Ambassador Eniola Cole. Today, we will discuss an introduction to leadership and civic engagement. Now, what are you going to learn in this episode? Leadership styles, recognizing the role of youth in civic engagement, and you're also going to appreciate the importance of active participation in governance. Leadership is not just about holding a position, it's about influencing and guiding others. There are various leadership styles, including transformational, transactional, and servant leadership. Understanding these styles helps you adapt and lead effectively in different situations. Civic engagement is about participating in the political and community life of your society. As youth, your active participation in governance is crucial. It ensures that your voices are heard and that you can contribute to positive change in your community. Now, leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Just the other day, we spoke to an NOA director at the National Orientation Agency, Mr. David Akoji. And this is what he had to say about leadership and civic engagement.
I would say that my personal journey into leadership started at the University of Jos precisely. I contested election and got elected in the first instance as Secretary General of the Department of English Association. Thereafter, at the national level, I also contested and won as Secretary General of the National Association of Students of English and Literature. That's what it was during our time. After that, I went on to contest as Vice President of the Students' Union of University of Jos and actually again won that election. So my leadership experience starts, all the way back to that time. When I went for National Youth Service Corps at Old Bendel State, I again contested because in Bendel State, it was the leadership, at the local government level, what they call local government liaison officer, was also a position to be contested by way of election. So again, I contested and won the election as local government liaison officer for Ugali local government at that time. So leadership capacity began to build, from the period I was in the university all the way up until when I went for NYSC. And so I gathered the nuances of how to administer processes and procedures, and then also how to lead, how to provide example for my peers, and others to follow. So my leadership journey dates back to this particular period. Eventually, when I started working, in the civil service, you go from level to level. Because I joined in as a graduate with a master's degree at the time, I had people who were working under me. So to that extent, I had leadership responsibilities also. Up until this point, as director at the National Orientation Agency, where I head a department and also coordinate the 36 state offices that the National Orientation Agency has across the country. So leadership now, as it was back in the time in school, is over my peers, because each state is headed by a director who's actually my peer, but then they report through me, through the Director General, because of that responsibility I have of coordinating the entire states and reporting to the Director General, who's the ultimate head of the National Orientation Agency. So in a nutshell, I would think this describes my leadership journey thus far. Okay, at the National Orientation Agency, we work with youths through schools, and if you want to define youths as from age 18 all the way up to 35, then I'd say, okay, we work with youths through their higher institutions of learning. We have a platform that's called Campus Focus at the National Orientation Agency. What our platform does is we carry notable individuals in the country, and they travel with us to a particular campus, and then we have engagement with students. We speak to them about some of the challenges in the country and what contributions they can make, to make our country better than it is at the moment. We also speak to them about vices that are predominant on our campuses today, and we show them the harmful effects of some of these vices, and we try to persuade them to embrace a better way, than this. That's one of the platforms. Aside from that, we live in an era of digital technologies. So NOA has presence on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. And through these platforms, we also engage with the youths. One of the things we're doing right now is to promote youths who have excelled in diverse areas of endeavor. We have a platform that we call the Nigerian of the Week, and this runs weekly on our Instagram page. More recently, we have developed an artificial intelligence functionality which operates on our website at the National Orientation Agency. So if you go to www.noa.gov.ng, which is our website, you will find this artificial intelligence persona that we have named CLEAN. CLEAN is an acronym, and CLEAN on our website will explain to you what that acronym means. So I want you to go check it out yourself. But what CLEAN does is it has expanded the speed and scope with which NOA is able to deliver on its mandate. And our mandate at the National Orientation Agency is to sensitize citizens on government policies, programs, and activities. That's a core aspect. We also have mandate around peace building, around promoting patriotism, and nationalism, amongst other areas of our mandate. So if you ask CLEAN on our website about any policy of government in any sector, CLEAN will provide relevant information that you require. At the moment, CLEAN, that's our artificial persona, which you will find on our website, speaks Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. What we're doing is we're training to be able to speak other Nigerian languages. So that's another platform through which we're engaging with youths, across the country. We also have an app. This app you will find on Apple Play Store as well as on Android App Store. That app is called the Mobilizer, and it's targeted really at the youth. Now we understand that today's youth respond when they have a sense that they will get a reward for engaging. So we've introduced a hackathon on the Mobilizer platform, which rewards with airtime, for questions that are answered correctly. The purpose of this is to draw attention of the youth to government policies, programs, and activities that benefit them. We have realized that ordinarily they will not engage. They would rather follow some of our popular musicians, Davido, Naira Marley, and the rest of them, than follow the handles of the National Orientation Agency, where they can get beneficial information about what government is doing and how they can key in to more benefits. So we are also introducing giveaways, using technology. We hope that this will attract them. What happens is there are questions like 5 or 10. For each one you answer correctly, you get a certain amount of airtime that's credited directly into your phone immediately. So these are a few of the ways currently that we're engaging with the youths across the country. I think leadership, more than anything, should be empathetic. I also think that leadership should listen, and I think that leadership should show example. These are some of the elements that we find absent in the sort of leadership that we see predominating our ecosystem today. And this is not restricted to government alone. You find deficit leadership traits in virtually every sector of our national life, including the sectors of religion. So if leadership must be empathic, if leadership must be exemplary, then that leadership will endear itself to the hearts of the people and will add visible value to those that are being led and will command respect from the led. Predominantly what we see in leadership today is leadership is selfish, self-centered. Leadership is far away from the people that are being led. In a lot of instances, leadership is even unapproachable. Leadership does not listen. So I would recommend for the youth that they imbibe leadership styles that are empathic, that are exemplary, that listen, and respond in positive ways to the yearnings and the desires of the followers. To say it's essential would be an understatement. If we are going to have youths in leadership position who would compete favorably in the global context, then they must begin a process of internship, of learning, what leadership is all about. They must not wait until they get to positions before they begin to exhibit the traits that are, expected of leaders. So I do believe that youth have a big role to play in the civic space. There have been some complaints about the shrinking civic space. As National Orientation Agency, we have had conversations with several groups of youths on this issue of shrinking civic space. It is one thing to engage and to participate. It's a different ballgame to know how to engage and participate in a manner that is productive. In a manner that does not deviate from the objectives that you have set, the goals, as purpose and expected outcome from the engagement. That is as youth now. What we have found out is that many of our youths do not know how to speak with decorum. They are combative, they are insultive, and they are disrespectful. Now, if your engagement is disrespectful, then it takes attention from your objective to the manner in which your message is being delivered, and that's diversionary. So I would urge our youth to study how to engage for productive outcomes, and if you want to engage for productive outcomes and you want attention focused on the issues and the objectives that you want to achieve, then you must have decorum. You must show respect, and you also must be willing to listen, because there are always two sides to the story. It's not only one side. Yes, recently I was at an engagement in Abuja around community, constitution, and engagements, like we were talking about. And I made the point that community is a strong component of culture. Yes, community, constitution, and culture. A strong component of culture is values. We find that there's a serious erosion in our values. There are some of our values that are universal, and then there are those that are peculiar to us. But values are extremely important. No society, human society, can make reasonable progress without positive values. Now, some of those values that are universal include respect. It includes duty of care, empathy. It includes selflessness. So if our youth will embrace some of these positive values, then they will prepare adequately for the challenges that lie ahead in the global context. If you go to the global context and you are combative, you hardly will gain listenership. So it's important to be self-moderating. And it's also important to study and research deeply so that you are competent in the subject matter areas that you need to talk about. You don't enter into conversations exhibiting ignorance because you have not taken time to do your research, to understand the context, and then to marshal out your thoughts. Well, I don't see that should be much of a problem. I already have a group of youths that I mentor from the community that I come from. And we are all on a WhatsApp group. What I have done with that is to create a community of mentors out of successful people in my community, and then to bring as many youths, as I can into that platform. So conversations are always ongoing there in terms of which career path to choose, how to deal with career challenges, which kind of marriage decisions to make. There are diverse areas that the youth require mentoring. So that's ongoing. I wouldn't have a problem with mentoring a student union leader. That is my background.
Really impactful comments there. And that's it on our episode for today. Remember, your active participation is vital for a thriving democracy. Join us next time for more, as we will be discussing effective communication and public speaking.